So this is my Massey Ferguson tractor, and I've been wanting to get a snowplow for it. Now I know they make a couple different styles, like the style that hooks to the bucket, the loader bucket. Yeah, there's all different kinds out there, but I would like to have the style or the one that actually Massey Ferguson sells. It hooks up to the chassis, and then you tap into the hydraulic system, and you can raise, lower it, and go from left to right with it. So we're gonna build one, because they are expensive. I think I priced them out right at about 3,500 bucks. So we'll just go ahead and build one. So I mocked up with a piece of cardboard. I actually mocked up the style or the type that I'm going with, and this here is going to be the frame. So you'll actually be able to take this off and hang the quick attach or the frame, whatever you want to call it, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and have a pin in here. So after you hang it on there, you slide your pin in and you're good to go. This is going to be for the hydraulic cylinder to raise and lower it. I don't know if that's where I'm going to keep it at. I might move it in the middle. I haven't figured that out yet, but this is the general idea of what I'm going after. So let's go ahead and get started, and let's get this thing built. So I went ahead and busted down my cardboard model, and I entered it into Fusion. So we'll start with the sides. This will be one of the sides, or what the sides are going to look like, and then we'll go ahead and build the rest of it. So I got this entered in. We're going to go ahead and cut these side plates out on the plasma cutter. So let's go ahead and get this started, and I'll show you what that looks like. So I need to come up with something for the arms that's going to come out. I have a couple of things in mind here. Obviously 2x2 box tubing is way too big. 1x1 is not big enough. I don't think, even though that's heavy wall, I don't think that would last. But I do have this 1x2 rectangular tube. It looks like 1/8 inch wall. I think that would work. Let me cut a couple pieces of this. So what I have in mind is just running one of these Hogan bits right through. That's too big. So I wasn't happy where the original holes was at, so I moved them up. I don't feel like cutting new plates, especially if how expensive this steel is, so it's not going to hurt to have an extra set of holes there. So if anybody's wondering what that extra hole is, I made a mistake. Measure twice, cut once. Alright, so for whatever reason, my GoPro didn't pick up on the recording when I was making this, so I'll just do a quick voiceover. So all I'm doing here is tacking in a stiffener bar, so when I weld this, nothing moves on me. And I'm going to go ahead and weld them tabs up, which is what I'm doing right here. So I got them bars welded. We'll go ahead and remove the hardware. Just making sure everything stayed where it was supposed to stay. So I'm putting this piece of angle in here just to keep the spacing correct on the two arms that are coming out, because I'm getting ready to put the end plate in. That's going to be what I'm calling a swivel plate, which is what this is right here. And I cut these out on a plasma cutter also. Then this bar here is 1.5 inches diameter. I made those plates just enough so where that bar wouldn't slide out of the end, but it would sit in there nice and tight. Squaring everything up here. So I cut that little piece out on the lathe. Like I said, it's 1.5 inches. And I ran a 3/4 inch drill bit right through the center. I'm going to use a 3/4 inch pin for the main swivel or articulating pin. So originally in the video when I was recording this, I was talking about how I had a bunch of hydraulic cylinders and air cylinders saved up from the past. I didn't know what sizes I had, but I knew I had 2 short ones. Hopefully they would work, and that's these here. So they're a little bit longer than I would have liked them to be, but that way I didn't have to buy any, so I'll make them work. I believe these were 8-inch strokes on both of them. Alright, and in this part here I'm talking about the blade that I'm using. I had originally picked up 2 blades like this at an auction a while back and never used them, never did anything with them. They were super cheap, they were never used, which is why I bought them. So they are 4 foot wide. I'm not really happy with how tall they are, but kind of short on time. I needed something kind of quick, so I'm going to make them work. And here I'm talking about how I have to modify that bracket in order to get it to work. Probably in the future I will make my own blade. I'd like to have a 5 foot wide blade and had more of an aggressive curve to it, more of a radius. But for now this will work. I just have to modify that bracket right there. So I cut the welds with a cutoff wheel. I'm just going to raise that top plate up about 1.5 inches, give or take, something like that. So this is actually a little bit higher than I wanted this to be, but for this cylinder to work, this is what I have to do. So, and I don't really have time to cut this cylinder down. I could cut this cylinder down and make this shorter, but I don't have time for that right now. We're supposed to we're under a winter weather advisory starting tonight at midnight, so it is what it is. But it's kind of out further and taller than I really would like for it to be, but it'll work. We're gonna make it work. Alright, so it's all done except for final weld and paint. One thing I just added real quick was a locking device. So originally when I made it, I put these holes in here so it would mount to these holes down here. I think you can see that with a pin, which it lines up and everything's good, but the problem is it's just a little loose. You know, and if that hole wears out a little bit, or if it, you know, if it starts getting knocked around, it's good. So I wanted to come up with something else, some sort of clamping device that I didn't really need a bunch of tools and make it easy to put on. So this is what I come up with. So all this is, and I can add another one if I need to. I don't think I do. It's under pretty tight, but I'll show you how it works. Let me get you guys on the tripod here. Make sure you can see. Alright, so pretty much what I might do in the future is put, like, weld some keepers in here so it can't fall all the way down. But you know, remember, it hangs on this little ledge here, so it's gonna hang on here and then swivel down. So line it up. All right, so once it's lined up, it goes all the way in. Then this guy here, And I mean, it is tight. So I got all the pins made. So I'm gonna go ahead and take this thing apart and start welding on it. And then get the hydraulic hoses put together, and then we're gonna put it on the tractor. So I'm probably not gonna paint it now, just for the simple fact that I don't have the time. I might just spray some fluid film or something just to stop it from rusting, but the video's getting too long anyway, so I'll at least get it welded, put on the tractor, put together, and show you guys working, and then yeah, we'll see what happens. So let's go ahead and put it on. I got the hoses on the cylinders. So let's go ahead and get this thing mounted up and see what it looks like. See if it works. All right, hopefully I got the hoses right. All right, so B. A. C. Indeed. Alright, so I definitely need some hose management here, and I need to make one of those little curly Q things that go right here that I've seen. But in the meantime, I'll put a tie right here. So let's try it out and see what happens. Man, I need to detail this thing. It is filthy. I got those backwards. Let me swap these two out. There we go. So it's 2 days later. I didn't get to mess with it yesterday, but we did get some snow. That's probably about 4 inches. So we're gonna give this thing a test run, see what happens. It's just sitting there ready. I haven't used it yet, but we're gonna use it today. So let me get it warmed up, get suited up. We're gonna test it out, see how it works. Here we go. So I'd say that's a success. The only thing that sucks is I didn't get it painted. So it's probably gonna get a little rusty, but it is what it is. So I got some plowing to do. Thanks for watching. I figured I'd make one more quick video before I end it. So I just got done plowing and it works great, and it's still in one piece. So I just did a quick, it's a little sloppy, but it works good. I'm happy with it.